welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Solar Expanse. And I suppose with the intro audio to the Stellaris soundtrack hitting its first crescendo, that's probably a good place to remind everyone. We are playing the Stellaris soundtrack in the background instead of the game's default soundtrack. Because for whatever reason it gets flagged a lot on YouTube. It's only flags, so it's not a major problem, but it gets flagged. So today we're changing up a little bit from what we were doing previously. It's basically continuation of the same run. It's literally the same save. I loaded in the save as, so I'd have a backup save in case this didn't work. But we've swapped over to the experimental patch. So we'll have access to the modular space stations today. In addition, we are going to try to finish out our terraforming on Mars and see how far we can get through terraforming other stuff. Mars-wise, we've got 0.34 atmospheres. Oh, and this is actually a new thing. In the experimental patch here, it tells us how many megatons of gas we need. So we need 9.7 megatons of gas to correctly terraform Mars here. And the percentile on... Well, the percentile notation on the composition is still wrong, but that is what it is. 0.2 is the computer math. You want it 20%. And then, we still obviously had the water one before. So, I need to get another... Okay, so yeah, it's definitely not a linear process on atmospheres here, because we're almost at 6 megatons of atmosphere. We only need to get to 9.7. So it starts off very hard to make any progress, and then once you start making real progress, it moves real fast. Same thing here with the water. So we've only got like 3-4 megatons of water, 3-4 megatons of pressure to go. Let's look at the moon. Moon needs less, although it's still 8 megatons, 8.5 megatons. So it's surprisingly... Oh no, that's Lutetia. Clicked the wrong one. Although Lutetia's 8 megatons. Oh dear. Okay, so the moon is less. I'm surprised the moon is less than Lutetia. I'm surprised the moon is... Oh. No, that's the norm. Never mind. Surprised the moon is less than Lutetia, but okay. Oh, and they have apparently added Earth orbit, Mars orbit. Okay. So some of those are convenient. The gas giants are convenient because you don't actually want to go to the gas giants. Earth and Mars is convenient for similar reasons. Yeah, 5.6 water for the moon. And 7.2 megatons. Okay, so to fully terraform everything, we need to move 7 megatons per of gas for every one of those places. Okay. And with this being the experimental patch here, we do have some new technology. So previously we were completely researched in technology when we stopped researching. So you can see here, everything's basically researched, The experimental patch has 2 new techs. Modular microgravity infrastructure, which allows us to build the modular microgravity station, and the modular rotating station. So these are 2 new techs. These grant the the station, effectively. We'll queue these researches up, so it's almost a year and a half, well, almost 2 years there, even more for the modular spin one. At the moment, don't know why you would want to build one over the other. This one's obviously available earlier, this one's available later. And then a lot of the techs that affect the space stations provide modules, and they're basically just a duplicate of the other techs. So we've got hydroponic farms here. Good old hydroponic farms. And we've got agriculture module. So this is the module for space farms. Space farms, there's fuel. Not sure where the fuel is. And then there's the same one for circuits. We have a space module for circuits. So we're going to do 2 techs here, and then we'll probably play around a little bit with the space stations at that point. That'll be a little bit deeper into the run. So probably to get started here, let me do a quick check over on all our systems. Okay, so it looks like we have plenty of carbon and, well, at least a large enough water reserve on Mercury. It's debatable when we have enough water, but we have enough reserve. Venus, we're still pulling off gas, although we're not at a point for deploying anything yet. The moon has 9.7 years of carbon, so we're not in a rush to get any more carbon there. We're at 673 years of water on the moon. It would probably be a good idea to mine this water out, especially because we need water on the moon to terraform the moon, and I suppose we could be using that water to terraform the moon. Alright, that's half our water for the moon terraformation, so that's an argument to be building more water mines to get more mining. Do I have enough power? I have about 21 power. Each of our mines consumes 0.5. So 10 is 5. We've got 21, so I can go ahead and build 40 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 queued up. And we're probably at that point going to need to bring more... Well, this is also the moon. We could probably build decent solar power here. So we'll probably build solar power here to expand the ability to extract more. Oh wait, no, I'm reading that backwards. Somehow I'm using more power than we're consuming. Maybe something got rebalanced. Maybe got rebalanced. We'll unpause and we'll see if that works out. Worst case scenario, I'll have to move the solar panels around. And then we got Ganymede is self-sufficient for 600, 700 years. Probably need to build up some more water extraction there, but that'll be fine. And Callisto, we've collided a water carbon asteroid in here, so that's self-sufficient. And apparently I have kilotons of alloy on Callisto ready to go. Titan's another body. We need to unpause for it to properly melt. It's gone and froze again. It does this sometimes when we're paused from a load, but the ocean should melt and that will moderate the temperature here. And then we are mining water on Triton, which is plenty of water. We're mining at whatever rate we can mine it at. Okay, so let's go ahead and probably unpause for the moment. We'll let some time pass. Do I have... Yeah, I got an asteroid in the ocean. So there's a couple different ways we can handle asteroids going forward. One is I could build up more atlases. Those would probably be a little bit more aggressive as far as colliding asteroids in. Another one I could also do, which I haven't been doing, is I've been letting the non-water ones kind of hang around. We could intentionally crash all of those ones to clear up a bunch of material. Okay, so we've had our crash. That was not one of the bigger ones. That was only a little one, so we were only up to 4 engines. Do we have the right amount of power on the moon? No. So something's changing by the power calculation. Yeah, something changed on the power calculation. Okay. Try to get the solar panels done first, hopefully. And we'll get some surplus power here. There we go. Okay, we have plenty of people on Mercury. Maybe some concerns about our rate of food consumption, but we're making enough for the moment. I'm gonna have a bunch of oxygen being produced here. Okay. Collision with Mars. There we go. Was that the big one? That probably was the big one. 22 engines now. So I probably want to collide you somewhere because you have carbon. I could collide you with the moon. That would be tempting. Yeah, let's plan to rendezvous with the moon for you. That would put a carbon deposit here that puts a little more gas on the moon. It's not any water, so it's not necessarily what we're looking for on the moon or on Mars, right? Mars needs 3.2 megatons of water and about 3 megatons of gas. We probably want it to be nitrogen if we can get it. Which we are still extracting from all the gas giants. Interesting. I suppose they have enough there. I could probably throw a Zeus at Saturn to pick up some. And they've added the ability to set presets. This late in the run, I'm probably not gonna learn about those, let's just say. That's an acceleration, and you don't need to drag fuel to Saturn. Oh, and I'm gonna move stuff. So do I want to move you next? Move on to the other one. So you're already flying your water carbon 13 engine. Your water carbon 18 engine. So that'd be... Yeah, probably let's do the 18 engine. Let's get rid of this one. 30 kilotons more on Mars would not be a miss. Mars orbit to you. We're adding a Zeus. I want how many engines? 18 engines. And ideally want enough fuel that we can go there and back fairly quickly. So yeah, one thing I could do to try to accelerate terraforming is we could go ahead and build more atlases. Right, so to move Ceres around, for example, I would need 33 atlases. So we have one. I think it's at Mercury right now. Oh, did I leave it at Mars? It's currently at Mars. Send it back to Mercury. And those will be a lot faster for moving stuff. So if I wanted to build another 32, let's say we have enough to move Ceres around, so just so we can crash things faster. I need to build another 32. So in Earth orbit, what do I need to bring to Earth orbit? Atlas at the top. So that'd be 32,000 kilotons of exotic alloy. Half that in helium-3, that's trivial amount of helium-3. Basically half that again in circuits, and actually 4 times that in alloy. So the alloy is probably the hard part there, where they're building so many engines. Okay, let's have these 2 Zeuses run to Luna. Don't need to bring a lot of fuel to Luna. We'll take Sun 1. Okay, Earth orbit arrived at Luna. Mars is at... Oh, so okay, so we had a... Oh, that was probably a hydrogen run. Hydrogen run probably arrived. Okay. On Luna, I want to move 32,000 tons of alloys to Earth orbit. I suppose I can bring the electronics along as well. So this would be 6,400 tons of electronics. I'll have to come back for the helium. It's only 8 tons to go from lunar orbit to Earth orbit. Okay. It's a lot more of that to get it off of the moon, but even that's not much. Okay. So with that, the Zeus can go back to the moon, so they can go retrieve the helium-3. And then I'll have to get the polymers. Or not the polymers, the alloys. The alloys are going to be the expensive part. Well, I say they're going to be the expensive part. What was it? Callisto? Callisto's got a decent chunk of it. Go get half the alloys from Callisto. Oh, I suppose I didn't need to bring both the Zeus's along for this, because it's only 16,000. It's gotta wait until the next Terratorn to get launched. So I need... I'll need to bring more Zeus's in, because it's what? It's 32 times 4 is 128,000, which is more than 3 Zeus's can carry. It's 2 round trips, I suppose. I could probably have two Zeus's to handle it. Okay, yeah, so the 3 of them can probably drag it over. Although I don't have it here. I don't have enough alloys either. Yeah, so I'd have to grab some from Callisto. What broke on Callisto? Power production per day. Did the radioisotope generators break? They may have broke. Oh, interesting. Can I still build those? Or did they completely remove that from the game? Power production per day, 15. Power storage, 15. So yeah, I can still build them. I guess that was might be a bug. From Blending from earlier says that the radioisotope generators are at least not working. So you wouldn't be the only one affected by that. That would affect Triton as well, yes. If I build a new radioisotope generator, is the radioisotope generator still broken? We should be able to build one on the moon, is what we got. In fact, we have some on the moon. That's probably why the moon was rough power-wise. Yeah, we already have 3 on the moon. We'll see if building one fixes it. Otherwise, we might try to do a quick reload. Damn, that is a bug. Radio subgenerators don't seem to make any power now. That definitely breaks things. I'm trying to think about how I want to go about dealing with that. Do a quick save and load. What I may end up doing is I may, and to make sure we don't brick things, I might go and rewrite the old patch, because if that bricks various build-outs that we've used if we're not able to use radioisotope generators anymore, because them being broken. So yeah, we've got the old stream save 12, which is what we launched. This is what we launched out if I did a quick save load. So we're just gonna see if radioisotope is fixed by load. If it is, if it isn't, we'll probably end up. Oh, again, I'll probably end up reverting to the old patch. It might be a problem with launching on the current patch. Launching an existing save on the current patch, so not necessarily a problem with the experimental patch. It might just be a problem with importing an old save into the experimental patch. Okay. Let some time pass just to pass and see if that fixed anything, and yep, radioisotope generators are still producing 0 power. Okay, well that bricks some of the builds on some of our planets. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, I'll probably mark this as testing out the experimental patch and finding some stuff broken. At least with the loading of the save. And then we'll just go revert to the old save in the previous patch. Yeah, so we're not going to play around with well, basically not going to start over a new save to make it work, because I think it would work if we were in a new save. Yeah, we're not going to play around with the modules, although I suppose I can look at what the one we've just researched is. Essential structure, frame rate. Okay. Only 5 can be built on this object. Okay, so the modular microgravity station is object limited. Whereas I assume the other one is probably not. Yeah, you're object limited, so you can only have 5 per at least the major planets. What about Pluto? I don't have a module there, but yeah, okay. So it's 5 per gravity ball. We're not going to be playing around with that because obviously the save is bricked. So if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another one up today, which will be me reloaded back into the previous patch. I'm going to try to terraform Mars today. We don't need the experimental patch to do that. I can swap back to the old patch. I'm not going to do that with borked radioisotope generators, because that means like the mine on Triton isn't going to work. The setup we have on Pluto isn't going to work. We have a setup on Titania that isn't going to work. What I suspect is the case is it's a bug from loading in a save on a previous patch into the experimental patch. I suspect that's almost certainly the source of that problem. Maybe the intent was to rebalance something with the radioisotope generator, and it is bricking older radioisotope generators. The problem is that, as you saw on the moon, that is contagious. So if you have a radioisotope generator somewhere and you build a new one, it's still borked. It just merges with the old ones, and then they're all borked. Constant power, yeah, so they still show up, and it still says they should make 15 power, so I think it's just a bug with having them from an existing save. So, watching YouTube, we'll have another part up tomorrow. Sorry for the awkwardly short episode here. Well, actually, I have another one up today. Sorry for the short episode here today. If you're watching on Twitch, to facilitate swapping patches, I am going to stop the stream temporarily. So we will be back as soon as we're back on the previous patch. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream. And bye for now.